Welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to learn about implementing the plan that your group created. Recall that in the previous lesson, you created the intervention plan, which was based on the predictions from your group's model of how the system works and how changes to the system will alter each component. Remember that the group of stakeholders decided to implement the project by following a framework adapted from the open standards for the practice of conservation. Last time, we reviewed how to create the model necessary for having an effective plan. Now, we are going to move on to implementation. This step helps you determine how will you achieve your goals, and builds on the work you completed in Step 2, Project Planning. Implementing your plan has 4 key tasks: developing a work plan and timeline while using conceptual models to facilitate that process, implementing your project on the ground, and analyzing the results from your efforts. Projects should be planned with the appropriate allocations of time, funds, and other resources. When you begin to develop your work plan and timeline, there are several key questions you need to address. These include: what specific activities and tasks are required to answer your driving question? Who will be responsible for helping to complete each activity and task? When will each task be undertaken, and what will be the sequence of linked activities and tasks? How much money and other resources will be needed to complete each activity or task? You can begin to think about and address these questions using your Step 3 implementation worksheets available on the website. In order to implement your plan, you will likely either minimize the threats to the system or attempt to mitigate them. You must also measure the components of concern. Some data will be available to you before you begin. Be sure to contact landowners or managers to ask about any historical data. Then you can know which new information needs to be collected. Now that you know what you need to do, it's time to start doing it. You have your group members, you have your permission from the landowners and managers. You have decided what components need to be increased or decreased in order to affect the desired outcome. So get to it. Once you've finished implementing your project and collecting the data necessary to answer your research question, you will need to analyze your data. There are various methods for data analysis. They include spatial analysis, regression, comparisons, and many more. The methods you select will be based on the research question you've addressed and the type of data you collected for your project. We'll discuss this further during the evaluation stage. We're here to help, so please let us know if you need assistance facilitating or implementing your proposed project. We've also developed several key resources to get you started. The first is citsci.org. Citsci.org supports your project by providing tools and resources that allow you to customize your implementation work plan, all in one location on the internet. As your partner in research, citsci.org provides tools for the entire adaptive management process, including creating new projects, managing projects, building custom data sheets, analyzing collected data, and gathering participant feedback. A second resource available to you is the Plant Stewardship Index Calculator, or PSI. In collaboration with the Bowman Hills Wildflower Preserve in Pennsylvania, we have developed this tool to help you evaluate the ecological integrity of native plant communities in Virginia. The Plant Stewardship Index, PSI, offers stakeholders a standardized measurement of the effectiveness of land management practices over time. As the population of native plants increases, the PSI score will go up. As the population of specialist plants increases, the PSI score will also go up. Finally, as the diversity of plants increases, so will the PSI score. And don't forget the partners from our sponsoring agencies. There are lots of things to consider when designing and implementing a project for your local natural area. Once your group has pulled together an implementation plan based on the guidelines in this tutorial, be sure to have your plan approved by your project coordinator and your natural areas managers. This will ensure your project will produce the information needed to address your research question while gaining approval from our local and state partners. This concludes the third lesson on adaptive land management, implementing your project. In future lessons, we will go over evaluating your project and sharing the results with others.